Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can use your salicylic acid on your face. And I have two examples right here. One's from The Ordinary, the other one is from Paula's Choice, and both also include 2% of salicylic acid. Now for today's video, I'm going to keep the focus on those two examples, but if you have a solution that also includes 2% of salicylic acid or less, then the application will still be the same, but it can also be, of course, from any brand. And you also may have already noticed that salicylic acid can also come under a different name, which is also BHA, which basically means beta-hydroxy acid. And BHA and salicylic acid are basically the same thing, but it's just a different word. And so what salicylic acid can do is basically unclog your pores. And so when having clogged pores, this also can lead to bumpy skin. This also can lead to blackheads, whiteheads, a few pimples here and there, or even also acne. And what salicylic acid can do when also including it in your routine, it can improve those conditions. It's not a cure for those concerns, but it can improve it to also achieve a bit more of a clearer skin and also even out tone. And so the way that you also can use it, this is also basically what I'm about to share with you. Now, if you're being completely new to salicylic acid and you've never used it beforehand, then I highly recommend doing also a proper patch test to just make sure that nothing happens, that no irritation, allergic reaction or so can happen. And if you also want to know how you can do a proper patch test, I have a video for you also in the top right corner. And once you have done the patch test, you can also get started and also use it on your face. And so when being new to it, technically speaking, you can also use your salicylic acid daily in the morning and or evening. But this also depends on your skin, and some people really need to adjust it so that the skin has also time to get to know the product, to also build up the tolerance for it, to also use it more often. Whereas other ones may not have any issues at all and they can use it daily without any problems. Either way, that when being new to it, I recommend starting off slowly so that you also get an idea of how you can also use your salicylic acid. Meaning using it for the first couple of weeks, at least 2-3 times per week. See how it feels on the skin, see how your skin is going to respond to it. And based on that, adjust it if you want to stick to using it only 2 to 3 times per week, or if you want to increase the frequency of it. And you can go through those stages over time. And you can also do it the first 2 weeks and another 2 weeks where you're going to go higher with the frequency, etc. so that you can build up those tolerance and that it also is going to be the most suitable for your skin. Otherwise it can lead to irritation, which we definitely don't want. And also when including it in your routine, you can use it in the morning and or evening. It's preferred to also use it in the evening since it also exfoliates your skin, unclogs the pores, which can also make the skin sensitive to the sun. So when using it in the evening, it's a bit better based on your skin. But this also won't change the fact if you're going to always protect it with sunscreen during the day. Now, if you also want to include it in your skincare routine, I want to give you an example and also do a little demonstration so that you also can see it visually. Since we're already using a 2% or less salicylic acid solution, which is going to be a leave-on product, we want to make sure that our first step, which is also washing the face with a cleanser, that you're choosing a gentle cleanser. I have as an example the Cetaphil Gentle Skin Cleanser. But the cleanser can be a cream cleanser, a gel cleanser, a foaming cleanser, or even an oil cleanser. Just make sure that it doesn't include any high percentages of salicylic acid or other AHAs like glycolic acid or lactic acid. Please make sure that it does not include other exfoliating acids, since you're already using one in a skincare routine. And so when washing your face, this basically can help you to remove any excess oil, dirt, makeup, as well as sunscreen, so that you're always going to apply the next products that follow also on a freshly washed and clean face. Now I have already washed my face with the cleanser and I'm also now ready for the application. You do not have to have a complicated skincare routine when also using salicylic acid. So after step number 1, washing your face, you can immediately move on and apply your salicylic acid to your face. Now, depending also on the salicylic acid solution that you have at home, it either can come like the ordinary one with a dropper where the texture in general is also a bit thicker. If that would be the case, then you can also go ahead and just add like 1, 2, 3 drops in the palm of your hand, then use your hands together and apply it evenly all over your face, or only on specific areas that are affected. When also having a more liquidish solution, like the one from Paula's Choice, that one you may also feel the best when either using it in the palm of your hand and then rub your hands together and apply it, or use a cotton pad with it and apply it similar to a toner to also have it a bit easier when it comes to the actual application. And so I'm going to show you now how you can also, for example, apply Paula's Choice BHA exfoliant, since that one is also thinner in texture. Personally, I also prefer to also use it on a cotton pad. So what you can do is also go ahead and dispense some product onto the cotton pad. When using it on a cotton pad, go with about a coin size amount, like so that you have a guide. You can also use a bit more and less. Just make sure that you're using the right amount so that you then can also make sure to evenly apply it all over your face as well as neck. If you only have a specific area that is affected, you can also go ahead and just use it on that specific area as well. You don't have to use it all over your face, but you can. And so when also applying it evenly all over your face, just make sure that you also avoid getting it too close to the actual eye. So avoid any contact with eyes, don't get it into your eyes. Nor apply it on the top of your eyelids, since there's a lot of movement, and when there's a lot of movement, the product still can also run into your eye. And that area is also a bit more sensitive. So I do not recommend using it on top of your eyelids. But when using it around the eye, just make sure that you're not bringing it too close. And so once you have evenly applied it and you feel that it's all over, that you have applied it all over your face as well as neck or only that specific area, then that's already fine. Just give it a moment, like 30 seconds to a minute, so it also is able to sink into the skin. And then that's already the application. If you're going to use a salicylic acid solution that's a little bit thicker in texture, what you can do is basically just use between 1 to 3 drops. Depends also on the solution. Just make sure that you're not using too much, but also not like too little. And so when this is now with 3 drops, for example, and then when using it between your hands, you can do the same thing. Gently apply it all over your face as well as neck. And make sure that you also blend it evenly all over your face. That's really important. Or only specifically on that area. And make sure that you're using enough so that it also feels like you have used it all over. Or if you feel like you haven't used enough, you always can add 1 drop more, or you can also use a bit more of the liquid if that's the case, to also have an idea of how much would be the right amount for you. But once you have applied it, just give it a moment so it also can sink into the skin. And then you can keep it fairly simple, and you just need, if you just want to use the salicylic acid solution, that's fine. If you're using it in the evening, you're basically just using your cleanser, salicylic acid solution, and that's basically it. If you're using your salicylic acid solution in the morning, you now also would go ahead and add your sunscreen on top of it. So that's one simple way on how you can do it. Or you can also go ahead and either also add now a very light moisturizer afterwards. This is also totally fine, depends also on what your skin needs and also what feels the best. You can also go ahead and use your moisturizer, for example, in the morning and then apply your sunscreen afterwards. Or you can also go ahead and use your oil in the evening if you also want to include an oil in your skincare routine. Now, a great combination would also be cleanse your face, use your salicylic acid solution, and then use, for example, an argan oil. Well, an argan oil can actually be very beneficial if you're suffering from those concerns and if you also have oily skin, since it also has amazing anti-inflammatory properties to also reduce the redness from previous pimples, or if you're suffering from acne, to calm it down, and it also can help you to make you less oily. And so this is actually a great combination to also use it, for example, with the argan oil, which you can use in the morning and or evening. Usually I prefer to also use a moisturizer in the morning since it is lighter, and then in the evening use the oil. Or you can also go ahead and mix those two. Now when using your moisturizer alone, you can go ahead and use about a pea-size amount. I recommend also using a very lightweight moisturizer so it does not feel too heavy or make you not oilier during the day. That's really important. Or just do not use a moisturizer at all. That's totally fine as well, depending also on how your skin feels. And then when it comes to an oil, you can go ahead and use also between 1 to 3 drops. And so I'm going to use the ordinary argan oil. I'm going to use 3 drops. And then you could also go ahead and just use the oil and apply it evenly all over your face. Or what I really like to do is also just take my moisturizer and mix it with the oil, which is of course personal preference, so you can use them individually or you can also mix them together and then gently apply it all over your face. So, and once you have blended it all over, then this could be also your last step in the evening. But if you're going to do this combination, for example, in the morning or use them individually, don't forget to also use your sunscreen afterwards. So this also depends on if you like to use a moisturizer or if you like to use an oil or like to mix them together, then your sunscreen is always going to be your last step. There's no other way around when also being exposed to the sun, since your BHA or salicylic acid solution, in other words, can make your skin sensitive to the sun. So when using it, doesn't matter if you're using it in the morning or also evening, you can go ahead and also make sure that you're going to protect the skin during the day. That's really important. And I'm also now going to use the sunscreen as my last step on top of it. And when applying your sunscreen, please make sure to apply it evenly all over your face, your neck, décolletage. Don't forget your ears, around the eyes, to also really make sure that you're going to protect those areas to not damage your skin. So, and once you have applied your sunscreen as your last step, then this is also what a little routine could look like when also applying your salicylic acid solution in between to also improve those concerns. And it can be very simple, it doesn't have to be complicated. It's really important that you're going to use it always after you have a freshly washed and clean face. That's really the most important step. Then apply your solution, and if you're going to use a moisturizer or maybe serum or oil afterwards, that's also a little bit more individual. But don't forget your cleanser as well as your sunscreen during the day. Those points are really important when also using your salicylic acid solution. And this is also what I really wanted to share with you. I do hope that you now also have a better idea of how you can also use your salicylic acid solution. Keep in mind the ones that I have also showed you right now, those are also leave-on exfoliating acid solutions, meaning there's no need to wash it off. If you're going to apply it in the evening and you're going to wash your face in the evening anyway, then this is when you're going to remove it, but you're going to leave it on over the entire day. If you're going to use your salicylic acid solution in the evening, you're going to leave it on the skin over the entire night and then again wash your face in the morning. So there's no need to wash it off once you have applied it, unless you're going to wash your face again in the evening or the next morning. And so this is also something that I do also want to emphasize, because this can also be quite confusing. Now I do hope with the little tips that I want to share with you, how you can introduce it in your skincare routine and also how you can apply it to your face. It is also now a bit clearer on how you can also use your product that you have at home. And if you like this video, please also don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye!